Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Sally Pinto and I'm from the Yonkers Newark neighborhood naturally occurring retirement community. We launched back in January of 2020 and we're here to serve seniors 60 plus in Northeast Yonkers. We have lots of fun programs and activities, and we also have a lot of resources for you as well. Our programs include meditation chair yoga, body mind fitness, bingo, and any other programs that you might be interested, like arts and gardening. We have our resource specialist, Alexa Smith, who can help you with finding services and activities out there for you, as well as our nurse, Barbara Simone, who can help answer your health-related questions. We're here for you, we're here for our community, and we look forward to seeing you in our programs. Enjoy.
Hello, everybody. I'm Alexa Smith, the resource specialist with the Yonkers Newark. I'm here to help with application assistance, referrals for home delivered meals, and transportation services will be coming soon. We also offer Zoom activities and Zoom programs. And if you have any other questions or concerns, I'm here to help. Thank you so much and enjoy the program.
Welcome. I'm Barbara Simone, registered nurse. I recently retired from Westchester County's Health Department as a public health nurse. I am now here to try to assist you with any medical or preventive care issues. Enjoy this program, and I'm looking forward to working with you.
Thank you all. Such a gift to be here. I was reminded that Mother's Day is coming up, and Cinco de Mayo today. It's Teacher Appreciation Week I've been seeing around online. So lots of different holidays and just ways of bringing our attention and our awareness and our love to other people in our life. I was a teacher for 5 years. We were talking right before the session that there are a number of other teachers here. I think generally people who work in libraries, it seems to me, and these sorts of activities are teachers. So we send them our appreciation. We send all mothers and people who act as mothers and who give motherly love to others. We send them our appreciation and our love. And so we're starting off with all these gifts, all these people to send our appreciation to. And as we've sort of alluded to, I'm happy to announce 2 little gifts I'm bringing. The hope is moving forward that Coach Karl and I will alternate classes. So I'll be in with you guys every other week. This has been extremely special to me. As I said, I was a teacher for 5 years. I've done a lot of different exciting life stuff in my life, but to feel like a teacher here again during this strange year has been special for me. So I appreciate you having me here. So that's one little gift. I'm going to be with you all more. It's a gift for me. Hopefully it's a gift for you. The other one is I've heard tell before and after some of these sessions that the poetry meditation is sort of enjoyed. I'm glad if you're enjoying that. I brought a poem today, Derek Walcott's Love After Love. That's where we're going to finish our situation today, our session today. And just one last little point for reflection. Z was just mentioning this before. She's hoping, if I heard her right, that May is a month of easing into things, easing back into the outdoors. Pollen is coating my house and my car like nobody's business, and I'm sneezing up a storm. But for me as well, I was just sharing before, I'm very much an introvert. I like talking to people, I like meeting people, but I need my rest, I need my alone time. I've gotten a lot of that in the past year. It's been a strange, difficult year, of course, but I'm nervous about going back out and being around lots of people as things hopefully start to open up. Slowly, but surely, safely. But as the world is sort of opening up, we're trying to open ourselves up. And that starts with our body, opening our heart, opening our mind. And that's what we're doing here this morning. So hopefully, you know me, if I'm going to be in a little bit more with you guys, I'm going to do a little bit less repeating myself all the time, hopefully, because I assume more of you will be with me here more regularly. So you know my basics: gentleness and adaptability. Being gentle with ourselves, being gentle with others is where it starts for me. Gentleness is not something you could practice or like hammer into yourself. I want to be gentle. Gentleness is something you sort of fall and relax into. And so allow your body to do that today. Adaptability. I'm going to give you different versions of the movements we do. Do the one that feels best for you at the moment it feels best for you. Different times of day, different kinds of weather. If the pollen's got you feeling down, maybe your body is just saying a little bit slower this morning. Listen to those cues, follow those cues. That's gentleness and adaptability. Making that real, of course, is our attention throughout to mindfulness. I'm going to be giving us some movements and pointing, focus on your elbow here, focus on your shoulder here. But as you get comfortable with that movement, the hope is to sort of expand out. Where does the energy flow out from that joint or that space or that part of your body? Where's it getting caught up? Where does it feel tight? Where is it not flowing well? Paying attention to all those sorts of feelings helps you to learn about your body. And all throughout, mindfully attending to our breathing and hopefully our big smiles. We know that's a key to our good exercise here. So that's the setup. We're going to start off with a little bit of a warm up here. I've been lucky enough to do sort of in an outdoor session, a lot of Qigong recently, and I've loved those movements. So I'm going to incorporate a little bit of what I've learned from there. I'm certainly not an expert in Qigong. I think I saw on the schedule, there's a Qigong class at 10. If you're interested in it, give it a try, as long as it doesn't take you away from me. But I'm going to incorporate some of those styles and flows into this. It's been helpful for me, my shoulder pain, feeling better in the morning. I love especially doing this in the morning, getting our body ready for the day. So with our warm up here, we're going to be sitting towards the front of our chair, good posture, stomach, core, hip, supporting a good upright body, breathing into our stomach as we go. And one of my favorites that I think I invented maybe from some of these Qigong movements is this good morning yawn stretch. So we're imagining big reach overhead with our stretching. We're going to turn that into a little flow, starting with our hands in something of a prayer position, or they could be facing in. We're going to go one side of our body at a time. So with our right hand, palm coming up in front of our face, reaching out above, pushing out to the side. Okay, nice and slow. Good stretch at first, going wherever our body is allowing, feeling a nice little flow here. Just focusing on that right arm at first, getting that right arm loosened up. Palm pushing the energy out, coming back in towards your face. Push out, come back in towards your face. Nice big. If there's a part of the movement that wants to stretch a little bit, you want to stretch up here for a second, that's great. And let's switch to the left arm now. Reaching out, pushing out to the side. Palm facing in towards your face. Feel the range of motion increasing at your shoulder. Again, reach up overhead if you need to a little bit. Stretch that wrist out, keeping the wrist sort of mobile as we're going through this. I like to experiment with different ways of where my hand's going. This is the one that is sort of basic and standard that I'm doing, pushing out, but really see what your wrist wants to do as you're going through the movement. And let's turn to both at the same time, still nice and slow. Just getting that upper body woken up, stretched out. Good. Pause there. 2 weeks ago, I shared with you a little idea of a stretch being twisting and looking over our shoulder. There's sort of a Qigong specific version of that. We're going to reach with our right hand up to our right shoulder, and our left hand is going to reach to this side of our left hip. If you're feeling loosened up and it could go to the small of your back, that's good. As we do that, we turn and look over, gentle rotational stretch in our body, starting with that left hand on the left hip, right arm on the right left shoulder, feeling a good stretch through the center. Holding that for a moment. And now switch over to the right side. So again, left arm, left hand on the right shoulder, right hand on the right hip, looking over our shoulder, twisting from the core. Legs are still facing forward. Move into it with a little bit more movement and slowly start to turn it into a little bit more of a flow. As you're feeling comfortable, not rushing through it, going to where your range of motion feels comfortable right now. Remembering that this is telling our body that there's nothing dangerous behind us. That's a deeply biological, neurological experience. Our bodies can sense when there's danger or threat, and then we go into our fight or flight method that our body jumps into sometimes, which is good. It's protecting us. But we want to remind it that there are also times to relax, to rest. And this stretch helps to do that. Excellent. And returning to center, another Qigong movement, separating heaven and earth. Hands starting in something of a prayer position. Lots of styles to start this. You could have your hands facing in or prayer position, whatever feels comfortable for you right now. We're going to reach up ahead, up above with our right hand, pushing up, and push down at the same time. We're with our left arm. We're separating heaven and earth, not trying to reach from your arms. Don't stress your arms out. Try to spread your body from the center, from your spine, from your neck, staying there. So not extending your arms fully. Your elbows are still slightly broken, but stretching from the neck and from the back. Good core, good breath throughout, good smile. And coming back to the center and pushing into the opposite direction. Separating heaven and earth, remembering not fully extending our elbow and our wrist, stretching from the neck and from the back. Imagine that that's where the movement's coming from. And same thing, switching back to the other one. Flow with this. Listen to where your arms and wrists want to go as you switch up the movement. Feeling good energy around your body. What I've learned about Qigong is all about feeling that energy through your body. Switching again. Breathing in deeply, feeling comfortable, good posture, big smiles. Switching again. And one more time. Excellent work. Returning to center. Always shaking things out in between sets. Any of these little movements, if that helps you throughout the day, throughout our exercise to sort of reset between a movement, use those. I've been loving these. I'll be honest with you, some days when I'm feeling stressed at work, I've done these in the bathroom when I'm alone. I've just done some quick Qigong. I need to reset my mind. Use these as you need them. Two more I've picked up from Qigong that I love. Joint circles. We're just going to get our joints moving by just doing gentle circles from a bunch of different joints or call out. I'll call out. So we're just starting from our wrist. Whatever feels comfortable, not aggressive, not a hard movement, not flexing anything, just finding a nice little circle to start moving. For those of us, if you have particular joints that are particularly tight, that are always giving you a problem, it's my shoulders for me. Just starting with loose, gentle circles and switching direction. We'll slowly get things warmed up so you're ready for the workout. Trying to make the movement come from the particular joint we're on. Okay, so this is our wrists. Now we're going to move to our elbows. Okay, so wherever you need to be to get a nice circle with your elbow, trying to keep good posture. Gentle circle, expanding it out as we feel comfortable, reversing direction. Moving to our shoulders, just gentle little circles, getting the full range of the shoulder warmed up, happy, ready to move. Okay, and then reversing back. If you want to face your palms up to the air on this one, that's helpful. Good. Now leaning back a little bit, we're going to kick one leg out, just making little circles from our knee as best as you could do this. If it's still, you're not warmed up enough and it's tough to get that leg off the ground, that foot off the floor, stick with some of those upper body joint circles or one of the movements we've done already. But if you're with me, just getting that knee happy, reverse the other way. Switching up legs, left leg circles. Go the other way. And now kicking our foot out, trying to get the movement just to come from our ankle. So trying to draw circles with our toes. They can be slow. If I'm going too fast for you, if you're not where my speed is yet, that's fine. Take them nice and slow. I'm listening to my body. So sometimes if I get moving, doing something a little bit more intensely, I'm sort of listening to what my body's telling me. But if you need to move a little bit slower, that's fine. We're reversing directions with this right foot. Switch legs, left foot coming out, ankle circles. I'm hearing all sorts of pops and little moves with this one. Nothing painful. If there's pain, move away from it. But nice little sort of loosening. Snap, crackles, and pops. Switch direction. Good. Excellent. One more Qigong that I've really come to love, sort of an extended warm-up this morning. I'm learning these movements, happy to share them with you. They do, I've done hand massaging at the end of sessions, and they're these little taps on our hands, and it brings the blood out to our hands, loosens up the joints, and then we'll do a nice little face massage at the end. So we're going to start off just lightly tapping our hands together. Nothing aggressive, just a little tap. It's like if you've ever, if you know much about massage therapy or know bathhouses or saunas, how there's sometimes a massage with a branch. It's just a little tap to the surface of your skin that helps to bring the blood out to the surface of the skin, which is a healing process. So what we're going to do is now hands coming into each other, just a little tap. I find this also warms my shoulders up and gets my core settled. Little gentle vibration, waking our body up. Now switch directions. So hand coming in at the other way. And then this is called the lotus, so tapping the sort of heels of our palms together. Excellent, guys. Now rub your hands together. Gently, lovingly, but we're going to get our hands a little warm. If your hands are cold, if your hands are where you hold pain, you work at a computer a lot, these little movements throughout the day might help. Still rubbing our hands together, switch over to the other side. And then what we're going to do, and this is my favorite part, if you like a massage, if you like heat therapy, we're going to turn back, rub our hands together a little bit more. And then we're going to place them over our eyes and just give ourselves a little head, eye, nose, ear massage, whatever you like to feel on your head. So what we're going to do is place those hands warm over your eyes. You could rub your ears a little bit, massage your head, bring that warmth to your head. And that means we're ready to work out. So a little hand massage, a little Qigong to get us going. That's going to come, some of that stuff's going to come into our workout here. So we're going to do our first round of seated Tabata method, 40 seconds of work, 20 seconds of rest. Our 5 movements for our seated set are going to be that seated good morning yawn, good posture. We're going to get this movement going with a little bit more pace and intensity, starting to get into the workout. Second movement will be flutter kicks. I'll explain these a little bit more thoroughly as we get to them. Just a little preview right now. Third one is that dragon dance we've done before. Okay, I'll talk you through that. Having fun with this one. Fourth one is a calf raise. I'll give you some variable options on that one. And then I think last time we were together, we did this bow and arrow move. Okay, we're going to do that bow and arrow move. Again, I'll talk you through that. Those will mostly be repeated in this standing set today. So a lot of continuity to our workouts. I've been loving these movements. I want to share them with you. So we got 40 seconds of work, 20 seconds of rest. I'll call those times out and I'll give you some descriptions of the movement as we go. You guys always drinking water. And, you know, I've mentioned this before, but if you have 2 equal sized weights, 2 water bottles, 2 little cans of soup, and you want to add some intensity to the movements, these work for a lot of the movements. I'll shout them out where they're sort of best suited, but if you like to hold on to these, feel free to do so. So jumping into 40 seconds of work, 20 seconds of rest. We're going to do that good morning yawn, sitting at the front of our chair, upright, feet flat on the floor, big smiles, big breath. We're going to start in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so palms coming into the face, pushing the energy out overhead. Opening up the shoulders, reinforcing the posture with each pass you take. So reminding your core that it's staying upright and alert. The movement coming from the shoulder area, that big shoulder joint, very complicated. Lots of different parts and muscles tugging on that shoulder joint. Doing this helps to loosen all that, make it a bit more happy. And we'll pause in 3, 2, 1. We're going to move to a flutter kick. So I'm going to turn to the side just to show you. Okay, so I like to be sitting towards the front of my chair. This is what I mean by good posture. If you need to use the back of a chair, understandable. As you could support your own body weight, that's what we're looking for. We're going to lean back slightly, using our arms to brace if you need to, or if you got a strong core, hold them out here, and we're going to do flutter kick. And we'll start into that in 3, 2, 1. So this really gets the core firing, but is also lighting up my quads a bit. Tougher for me to talk through this one as I'm bracing my core, so I don't have so much to say, but we're going to pause on this in 3, 2, 1. Excellent, guys. Returning back to our center. This is that dragon dance we did maybe even just a month or 2 ago at this point. I've been doing a lot of this one. Hands coming to a prayer position. It's a very improvisational movement. So listen to your body where it wants to loosen up. This is just great for the shoulders, for the arms, for the elbows, for the wrists. Starting in a prayer position. And at first we're just following the dragon's tail, but then we'll reach out up above. We could bring it down low. The big thing is keeping your hands in that prayer position and letting your shoulders guide you. So 40 seconds of that in 3, 2, 1. So start off simple, elbows coming up, dancing around, feeling that loosen your shoulder, but then start to follow that dragon up above, come out to the side, reach further out as you're getting warmed up. If you want to stay in here for just this first set, perfectly fine with me. But if you're feeling good, if your posture feels locked in and you want to reach out up to the side, follow that dragon, let them lead you where you want to go this morning. Teaching all the different joints to work together, elbows, shoulders, wrists. And we'll pause on that in 3, 2, 1. Excellent, guys. So far, we're really moving here. Fourth movement is going to be calf raise. I've been working a lot of calf raises. I was really struck by the idea that the calf is sort of a second heart, that as your heart pushes blood down, all these muscles help to push it back up. Good strong calves, good for balance, good for walking, good for our heart. We're going to just do calf raises. A lot of this has to come from your ability to squeeze your muscles here. If you're feeling strong and if this makes sense to you, we are able to use our own bodies to resist movement. So if you want to push down on your calves a little bit and feel them pushing against that more, getting a bigger flex, a bigger squeeze, that's perfectly fine. But if a normal set of just calf raises makes you feel cooked, then stick with that. So starting into calf raises in 3, 2, 1. I'm going to start with just simple reps, gentle reps, just coming high up onto my toes, trying to get full extension. But as I go and as I feel more awake, I'm going to add a little bit of force myself with my hands, make those calves start to work a little bit more strongly as I go. And certainly if you're feeling really adaptable this morning, you're feeling really awake, you've been up and at it already for a few hours, and you want to stand during some of these movements and have a full standing session, fine with me. But we'll pause on these calf raises in 3, 2, 1. Hopefully you know that these workouts are adaptable by this point. Use the movements and the intensity, know yourself, know what you need. Our fifth movement, end of this first set, is going to be that bow and arrow. Pulling, feeling the tension, the energy through our body. The classic form is to reach out with 2 fingers over here as sort of your aiming. But if you just want to reach out with a hand, if you need to keep, if there's a wrist flexibility problem, again, you adapt. But we're going to start off switching sides in 3, 2, 1. So starting from the center, pushing out, feeling that tension, flowing with it, pushing out, feeling the tension in both sides of the body. Good tension, not bad tension. I hope that was clear. But feeling the energy across your whole upper body here. Nice, strong movement, not rushing through this. Flexing, engaging our muscles, engaging our core. Flowing with this nicely and happily. Again, mindfulness, thinking about what's going on in the rest of my body as I do this. As I get more comfortable with this, how do my feet feel? How do my knees feel? How do my hips feel? Is there some weird way I'm compensating? Do I twist at the core during this movement? All things to pay attention to, but we'll pause on that in 3, 2, 1. Excellent work, guys. That's our first set of seated Tabata. I'm grabbing a little sip of water. I hope you do as well. Stay hydrated. Hope you get in some good nutrition after this. All those things set us up for a beautiful day. We'll catch our breath. Again, this is a good time to work in any of those Qigong movements we did before. Separate heaven and earth, little stretch. Exactly. Working in these as you need a little reset. But we're going to jump right into our second set. 40 seconds of work, 20 seconds of rest. You know what we're doing. We know each other. I'm here with you guys, starting with that good morning yawn in 3, 2, 1. Start to see how I love paying attention to my wrists during this movement. How do those feel? How does adjusting my wrist position affect my shoulder, my posture, my back, my core? All those sorts of things have been interesting for me to pay attention to and help me to know my body a little bit more deeply. We'll pause on that in 3, 2, 1. Move into flutter kicks in 20 seconds. Again, engage the core as you need. If these are really tough for you, certainly just doing a one leg single leg kick and going back and forth from the floor, that's fine. Flutter kicks are a little bit more challenging. We're leaning back, bracing our core, trying to breathe steadily and flutter kick. I can't do all that and talk at the same time. So doing it together. 3, 2, 1. Bringing my hands up to add a little bit more difficulty for the core here. And we'll pause in 3, 2, 1. Great job, guys. Moving right along. In a few seconds, we're going to do that dragon dance. Keys, keeping those that prayer position, which is teaching us to use our joints, the wrist, the fingers, the elbow, the shoulder, as one system. Our body is one. Sometimes we separate it down to think about particular joints, but learning for our body to move together is the goal of a lot of these movements. So we'll start that dragon dance in 3, 2, 1. So starting off just from the center, and then as that dragon finds its energy and wants to get up above, out to the side, down below, feel what that does nice and slowly. Feel what that does to the different joints. How does your shoulder feel over here? How does it feel over here? Paying attention to that. Adding a little energy, a little speed, a little bit of intensity as you feel confident. Think about different ways you could turn over these joints. We'll pause on that in 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Next up is going to be our calf raise. Again, you could push a little bit with your hands to add a little bit more intensity. If you're feeling warm and you want to stand up and do this calf raise standing, that might be a little bit more difficult. That's fine on this movement. I'm going to stick down here and use a little bit of my own pushing down to make my calves work just a little bit harder. You do whatever's feeling perfect for you. And we'll start in 3, 2, 1. If you know the name, I believe Charles Atlas was a bodybuilder. And back in the 20s or 30s or something like that. And he would only use body weight force. So he would do all of his exercises by pushing against himself like this. I've always found inspiration in that. We'll pause in 3, 2, 1. 20 seconds rest. Then we're going to get into that bow and arrow. And then we're going to move to our standing set. Remember, bow and arrow, nice and slow, feeling what does each part of the movement feel like in your wrists, in your core, in your hips, in your knee. What does it feel like to have that energy pulling apart? That's what we're paying attention to here. We'll start in on bow and arrow in 3, 2, 1. We're all strong, loving warriors, and this is getting us ready for our day. We'll pause in 3, 2, 1. Good. Excellent job, guys. We're moving right along. We're going to do a set of standing, and then we're going to move to our meditation. So flying right along, really let's put ourselves into the standing set. Our stretch was a little bit longer this morning, so we'll probably just have time for one standing set. Maybe I'll throw in a little bit more after, depending on the time. But the movements are going to look very similar, so shouldn't take too much to, let me just adjust my camera. Yep, shouldn't take too much to learn these movements. I'll give you an option on this. If you want to be standing feet together, that's the basic way to do this. The more complicated way to do, or more difficult way to do most of these movements, is to do them from what's called a horse stance, which is just a wide squat, a little bit low, not too deep, not so hard, but just a little bit of a squat. We're going to start from here. One of our movements is going to be that good morning yawn. The third movement will be that dragon dance, and the fourth movement will be that bow and arrow. So those are 3 of our movements. In between those, we're going to use our chair to work our hamstrings. So we're going to just do hamstring raises, okay, alternating sides. We'll do those, and then we'll do a calf raise. So using our chair as we need it, coming up onto our calves, getting full extension. If you want a little bit of a more difficult variety, you could lean into your chair, get your heels off the ground, and extend from there. Okay, that's going to give you a little bit more of a challenge. If you have a solid chair, if you feel comfortable with that, that's an option for you. Those are our 5 movements. We'll jump right into it, using your chair as you need it for stability, support, and balance. But if not, join me in this horse stance. A little bit of a crouch. If you want to just be standing upright, feet together, that's fine. A little bit of a crouch. We're going to do that good morning yawn in 3, 2, 1. Nice deep breathing here. Big smiles on our faces. We'll pause on this, guys, in 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Next up is going to be our hamstring movement. So using our chair as we need it, I'll just show you from the side here. Just good hamstring flex, trying to keep our body in line, good posture, and just bringing that foot up to the sky. Good squeeze back in our hamstring. We'll start on that together in 3, 2, 1. Alternating sides. Good squeeze, not too hard. The hamstring is a place people could get, what I used to call a Charlie horse, a little muscle spasm. Don't want to squeeze too hard and set that off. If you do get those, I used to get them in sports a bit. Oftentimes it's an issue of hydration. So good reminder, if your muscles get tight and even if you have some of those spasms, good reminder to be drinking water throughout these exercises. We'll pause on that in 3, 2, 1. Coming back to either standing, 2 feet together, or a little bit more of a challenge, that horse stance. We're going to do, next up is our dragon dance. So palms together, starting in tight, and then letting it take us for a ride. We'll begin together in 3, 2, 1. So getting wider with it. As we feel like we're comfortable with the movement, we're learning something from this, then get the legs involved. Come down low with it, squat a little bit more, trying to get our body loose and moving like that snake, like that dragon. Coming back to center if you need to reestablish the movement. My quads are screaming from this. Full body workout right here, guys. And we'll pause in 3, 2, 1. Excellent. 20 seconds of rest. We're going to go into calves. You need the chair for support. Just coming up on your feet. That's fine. A little bit more of a difficult, challenging version. Use your chair as sort of a plank. Good body position. And then coming up from that angle. It's going to give you a little bit of a different focus on the calves if you could handle that. But if not, just coming from here with the chair for support is fine for me. And we'll start in 3, 2, 1. I'll start here with you guys, and then I'll show you a little bit more complicated version. Excellent. Keep it going, guys. We're still moving, but if you want to bring it to over here, a little bit more of a challenge. Different way to hit the calves. We'll pause on that in 3, 2, 1. One more move over here, guys. That bow and arrow. Again, we can do it from 2 feet together. If you're feeling warmed up, the horse stance is a great position to do this from. And we're going to draw that bow, get ready for our day. We'll start that in 3, 2, 1. Pause in 3, 2, 1. Excellent work, guys. I'm going to drop a poem into the chat here, both the text and a link, and then we'll talk through what we're going to do today. Okay, that's our poem in there, my friends. This is Derek Walcott's Love After Love. This meditation we're going to do today is sort of what's called a mantra meditation, common to many of the great religious traditions around the world, meditating on a sacred word, a sacred name. I have a sort of a Christian background. There's many examples of this in my background, but I know Jewish friends, Muslim friends, Buddhist friends, Hindu friends who have similar practices and all the great traditions. I don't mean to leave anyone in or out of that list, but those are the examples that come to mind. And so what we're going to do for our context, where we might be coming from different backgrounds in terms of our spiritual practices, is we're going to use this poem. Derek Walcott was a Caribbean poet. He passed away in 2017, I believe. And this is a poem that was first introduced to me in high school by a great teacher of mine as something I could sort of pray with, meditate with, and I've used it ever since. And so I just send my love in this Teacher Appreciation Week to Mr. Galligan, who introduced this to me. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to read this poem to you twice at the start, once to get a sense of what's going on here, and the second time to listen for a word or a phrase that calls out to you. Whatever it is, don't interpret it yet. Don't read into it. Don't try to pick your favorite one. Don't try to pick the one you think is the right one. There's no right or wrong here. What word or phrase, try to focus in, short, a few words in a phrase, really catches you, catches your heart, catches your mind. Maybe it shimmers a little bit on the page there. What we're going to do with that then for 8 minutes or so, 6, 7 minutes of breathing meditation is just gently repeat that to yourself. Find a good rhythm, once or twice of the word or phrase, 3 times, whatever works, with the in-breath, a few times with the out-breath. Silently to yourself and chew on that. That's what the great spiritual traditions I would read would call it. Chew on the word. Let it get into your being. And then by the end, hopefully that develops into a natural reflection of, why did this reach out to me? Why did this call to me? Why am I attracted to or interested in this word or phrase? What is it saying to me? And then you could carry that with you throughout the rest of your day, your week, your month, your life. Maybe it becomes your mantra that you say every time you're stressed or worried or afraid or happy or grateful or whatever it might be. It becomes your sort of mantra, your meditation, your prayer. So we'll start off with just a few deep breaths to relax ourselves. I'll read that poem twice. We'll do some breathing meditation where you hopefully just chew on it, and then we'll wrap up. If the poem doesn't work for you and you just want to do your basic breathing meditation, that's fine for me as well. So we want to be sitting with our feet flat on the floor, hands resting gently, maybe in our lap, on our knees. We just don't want limbs crossed or our body in a compressed or torqued position. We want to be sitting in a way that's natural, upright, engaged, but not stressed. And a good way to start is to just attempt to clear our mind. Let any thoughts or worries float away. And draw our attention to our breathing. Breathing in through your nose, allowing the stomach to expand on the in breath. Holding that breath for a moment and calmly exhaling. And our poem today is Love After Love by Derek Walcott. Here's our first reading. The time will come when with elation you will greet yourself arriving at your own door, in your own mirror, and each will smile at the other's welcome and say, sit here, eat. You will love again the stranger who was yourself. Give wine, give bread, give back your heart to itself, to the stranger who has loved you all your life, whom you ignored for another, who knows you by heart. Take down the love letters from the bookshelf, photographs, the desperate notes. Peel your own image from the mirror. Sit, feast on your life. And now on the second reading, I invite you to listen for a word or phrase that touches your heart, your mind, your soul. And then we'll chew on that for a bit. Love After Love by Derek Walcott. The time will come when with elation, you will greet yourself arriving at your own door, in your own mirror, and each will smile at the other's welcome and say, sit here, eat. You will love again the stranger who was yourself. Give wine, give bread, give back your heart to itself, to the stranger who has loved you all your life, whom you ignored for another, who knows you by heart. Take down the love letters from the bookshelf, the photographs, the desperate notes. Peel your own image from the mirror. Sit, feast on your life. So if a word or phrase touch your heart for a few minutes, do a gentle breathing meditation as you lightly and gently repeat or chant that word to yourself. But anytime you find yourself distracted, return to that word or that phrase as an anchor, as a root for your meditation. And continue to breathe in deeply through your nose and out of your mouth. You can begin to gently return to full awareness. You could gently shake or wiggle your toes, your fingers. Open your eyes if they've been closed. And to bring this meditation period to a close, I'll read the poem. The time will come when with elation you will greet yourself arriving at your own door, in your own mirror, and each will smile at the other's welcome and say, sit here, eat. You will love again the stranger who was yourself. Give wine, give bread, give back your heart to itself, to the stranger who has loved you all your life, whom you ignored for another, who knows you by heart. Take down the love letters from the bookshelf, the photographs, the desperate notes. Peel your own image from the mirror. Sit, feast on your life. And just to give you a brief example of what I went through in that meditation, how this might work for you, but there's no right or wrong. On the first reading, my mind, and I've read this plenty of times, my mind went to each will smile. And on the second reading, when I got to that, I actually almost started crying, to be honest. Part of the journey I've been on, I think I mentioned this before, but I lived in a religious community for a year, and I thought of giving my life to a life of service. I worked as a chaplain in a jail. I worked in a shelter for unhoused people. Before that, I was a teacher and a youth minister, teacher in high school. And part of what I've been invited to see over the last years that I have a really difficult time smiling at myself. And when I got to that word, and I'm much better at it now. I've been on a journey of healing and learning how to do that. And I'm much happier with myself now. And when I got to that, I knew that I had both been invited in the last year and had been doing more of smiling at myself, having that be the starting point. And that's a lot of what I share with you. So I was touched by each will smile, the power of that will. It's definite. When I greet myself in the way this poem describes, I will smile. And if I could greet myself with the love this poem captures for me, I'll spend all my days smiling. And I rejoice in that. So that's what I got out of this poem. That's what I get out of a poem mantra meditation. I hope you found something for today.
Hi, everyone. This is Z from Yonkers Public Library. Thanks so much to Sally Pinto and Alexis and Barbara from Newark. Thank you to our community partners, WJCS, the City of Yonkers Office for the Aging, Westchester County Legislator Ruth Walter, Friends of Crestwood Library, and Yonkers Public Library for making this phenomenal partnership. And we thank each and every one of you for being part of our wellness community. Be well, stay well.